Welcome back everyone to Phil's Recap and Review. Glow, Season 1, the Netflix series, review. I was gonna say recap and review, but I'm not gonna recap shit. I don't remember much, only watched through it once, but here I am live to talk about this episode. Let me move down this music. If anyone doesn't know what this is a new Netflix series called Glow, a fictitious tale, or a not a accurate, they're not going one-for-one characters, and we'll talk a little bit about that as I get into it, but sort of an imagination of the events that happened surrounding the gorgeous ladies of wrestling. But I'm not alone. I have with me, and I will have several people coming in and out of here like a locomotive going inside and outside of a train, pumping and pumping and pumping. The best people in the world, the live motherfucking chat. That's right, we got the live motherfucking chat. We got Broke Black Man, Bree, Quixote. We got lots of good friends in the chat right now to talk a little bit about the gorgeous ladies of wrestling. A show that I watched when I was a kid. Yes, I did. I was one of the people that watched this show as a kid. I was a huge wrestling fan. There's going to be a lot of wrestling talk here, and I'm going to seem dated because I know some people that might check this out might be current wrestling fans. I'm not someone that watches wrestling currently, but in the 80s, I was a huge wrestling fan, and Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling were a big part of that. It was a lot of fun, especially comparative to the WWF at the time. It was very entertaining, and I would watch it late night. Sylvester Stallone's mom was part of it. It's a whole bunch of shit. If you want to hear about the real story of the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, there's a Netflix documentary that you can watch, and it takes you through it pretty well. So you can check that out. But here we go. Let's play a little bit of a video to get you guys a little bit. So in case you've never seen the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, let me prepare you for a couple things. Remember, this is the 80s, and anyone who's seen the series could be like, maybe they overdid it a little bit. Maybe they overdid some of the elements of it. But I'm gonna get into the series in a second. But this, at first, I just want to show you guys what the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling were. And here we go.
I flew to America and kept the plane. Some people think that I'm insane. I've got great strength and iron will. I am not afraid to kill.
Bunny tails and tapping feet, a dimpled face and smile so sweet. Don't ruffle up my ribbons and lace. I'll tap my toes all over your face.
I'm Spanish red and I love tequila. When my blood gets hot, I even mean it. I'm American, just like all the rest. If you say I'm not, you get the Spanish press. Okay.
Oh yes.
You wish you were in mother's.
These were some of my favorite ones in all the Glow. The rock stars / they were the old biddies as well. They played the old women as well. So and I'm gonna play more of this song. There's 3 minutes of it. This Glow was a wrestling show, but it was also somewhat of a skit comedy show. They would do a lot of songs. There was a lot of songs on it, and they talk about this a little bit in the documentary. It was very much reflective on the Super Bowl shuffle that happened with the Chicago Bears at the time, and the Patriots had a song too that they did in that Super Bowl too. So this kind of thing was very popular at the time. The other thing you'll notice is the very crazy characters and stereotypes that they do. This, again, translates very well into the series. I'm showing you all of this, so if this is before, or maybe you've just seen the Netflix series, but you've never seen actually what Glow is. Some could think that Netflix or the people making up the show were making up a lot of things. When you hear about the whole story of Glow, and you look at what these characters really were and what they were doing on television, and this was a kid's show too, it's, I think you see how well the Netflix series kind of encompassed what the fuck they were doing. So let's listen to more of the Glow rap because it's awesome.
Instead, you'll have to choose your doom. A nice restricting body cast, or I can fly your flag half-mast.
Fly my flag half-mast, motherfuckers.
Come fight with me and you can expect I'll do much worse than break your neck. An ambulance is what you'll desire, because I'm going to set your face on fire. When I wrestle, you'll want to cheer, because I'm a winner and I make that clear.
This was the Hulk Hogan of the show.
All my opponents know I'm a stud. What can I say? It's the Italian blood.
So it's a housewife from Newark that you really must fear. We don't wrestle often, just a few times a year. This is Phyllis and I'm Marlene. We're from Newark, New Jersey.
That don't rhyme.
No.
Wait, that don't rhyme. That's stupid.
All right.
That don't rhyme.
Newark.
Now you see this in the Netflix series as well. These two women are the same girls that are playing the Rockstar girls.
You're taking up
Arlene.
valuable camera time and
All
that's
right, wait a
don't
minute.
rhyme.
Phyllis and Arlene from New Jersey.
It's stupid. Look, all right, look, you want to write it? Fine, write it. I come
Fine,
here.
I'll write it.
I come here.
And I believe that they're sisters, like in real life sisters.
I'm responsible for my part. I do my job every time.
Just for herself. That's
I do.
very
You
nice.
have to think of things that match with rhyme with
Okay, fine.
Arlene.
Tell me then. What rhymes with Arlene?
Serene. Serene rhymes with Arlene.
My name is Arlene.
So that is a little bit of that. I'll play some more of the Glow song later, but let's get a little bit into the Netflix series. So the Netflix series came out, I want to say on the 23rd maybe or something. It's 10 episodes. It's 30 minutes an episode. So when we're in this world of binge watching, it's a very quick binge watch. But I say let's get to the review aspect of this. I think this show is really fucking funny. I think it has a couple of dramatic moments throughout, but for the most part, it plays off as a comedy. And I think it's a fun watch, especially if you're at all familiar with this time period or we're a fan of Glow or fan of professional wrestling even a little bit, or have a passing interest in professional wrestling. I also think just from a comedy standpoint, there's enough to kind of get you by, even if you have zero interest in all of this and you look at it all as a farce and look at it as an over-the-top look at 80s culture. I think it works on a lot of different levels. Is this show going to win any big awards or anything like that? No, I don't think any of that stuff. I don't think it's like deserves a place on my Mount Rushmore of comedies or Netflix series even. I think it's just a really funny 5 hours or however long it would be to watch those 10 episodes, probably less, to binge watch the entire series. A little over 5 hours would be something like that, right? 10 episodes and each episode's like 35 minutes long. I can't do math, but a little over 5 hours. We'll say about 6 hours. That it's charming. And it's charming in its like over the topness, and it's no holding back, and it's not pussyfooting around any issue at all or any way that this series in real life was, as I showed you the Glow song at the beginning. This series doesn't shy away from anything, and it feels refreshing to watch, I think, at times. Part of that is the person who steals the show. Now let me I want to click on something so I can get some get the right actors and stuff like that. But there's a lot of what the fuck, you motherfuckers, Glow TV series. What's your problem? Okay, there it is. I love when notes work before the show, but they don't work out during the show. The star of the show essentially is Alison Brie, I believe that's her name, who was on Mad Men as, what was her character's name on Mad Men? She was married to that idiot dude, that dude John Campbell. Yeah, she played one of the wives of one of the guys that worked at the ad agency. She kicks ass in this role. She is so over the top. Anyone who's ever done theater or played in acting circles has met this girl. And I don't want to ruin stuff that happens in the series. This is going to relatively be a spoiler-free review of... It might not be a spoiler-free of Glow itself, like real Glow, of things that happen. But for the series, I'll try to keep this as vague as possible. She's really the character we follow the most. But I enjoyed the hell out of her. Some of her over-the-top scenes where she's just riffing, like seeing her in other things, I didn't know she had that in her. And as I was saying, I know that girl. She gives a very charming performance, over the top. Glow also has a little bit of that Game of Thrones sexposition shit thrown in where it's just like random boobs or random fucking hair just kind of like tossed in the middle, like, oh, we're a Netflix series, we can get away with this, let's just put this in. And obviously the pig in me has no problem with that, and there are a lot of interesting moments of those kind of things. But the show for the most part definitely does take itself seriously to a certain extent. Not too much, but enough for you to care about certain things that happen along the way. Let's jump into the fucking motherfucking chat right now. So Phil, how stoned? Not very at all right now. I haven't even eaten a sandwich yet today. I need to eat a sandwich, Tim. I need to get right where you're going, motherfucker. Tina became WWE a couple years ago. Yeah, she did, Critch. A couple of the Glow wrestlers joined the WWF or other leagues after. I keep calling them the WWF. WWE, not the World Wildlife Federation. And yeah, it continued to wrestle after the Glow thing got shut down really, really poorly. I want to join in the rap. Phil looks like Ned Stark with a hint of fap. Salute you, Johnny the Irish Giant Spain. I love Johnny and can't wait to do another podcast with you, Johnny. Love you, buddy. I saw the live show at MSG sitting in the front row. Got the farmer's daughter to throw in my lap twice. High point in my left. Critch, I had, looking back on it, I want to say I went to, I think I went to one Glow match as well as a kid. Or it might have been, I might be misremembering because I went to a lot of WWF matches. And maybe like in my memory, I'm remembering some of the female matches. Like, because yeah, Wendy Richter and the Fabulous Moolah, that was all WWF stuff. So I don't think I actually saw Glow live, but I used to watch the show a lot. But I remember seeing the Fabulous Moolah live, and that was pretty awesome. She was a really, really fun wrestler. Phil is glowing today. Oh, thank you. Dun 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 dun. Motherfuckers. Random sex scenes are plot development, homie. Don't you know? Don't you know? Johnny, I love when you're able to jump in the live motherfucking chat, buddy. Oh, yeah. So, everybody, thank you so much. Okay, but what I wanted to say, there's a lot of good work going on this show. A lot of really good work from a lot of people that have moments that stand out as acting performances and stuff like that. But maybe it's because I wasn't exposed to him, but now I'm all exposed to him. Now I've had random parts of his penis shoved into random parts of my mental Rolodex of fun. So Marc Maron, he is what makes this show. He plays a character named Sam Sylvia. And from the moment Marc Maron gets on screen, he just commands so much attention in this series. The combination of him and Alison Brie. There's a couple of other standouts, but those two specifically just create so much attention around them, so much focus on them. Marc Maron is hilarious. I have never heard his stand-up before. I'd never listened to his podcast, never saw any of his shows, wasn't really exposed to him at all. And this was my first time I felt it. I felt the merit. And he was cracking me up more than... And he plays the coked out director of the show that is a B-level director. And all these people aren't real characters. They aren't real people. They're amalgamations of a couple of different characters or mix and match, switching out sort of characters that taking two and putting them together and combining into one. So there's no trying to go, oh, that person doesn't really look like that person. That's not a good portrayal of that person. They're just their own characters. And this guy is based off somebody, but they take it to the next level. Yeah, Marc Maron kills it. And I just like I finished Glow and I was still on a Marc Maron fix. So I just started the Marc Maron show where the 4 seasons of it are on Netflix. And he's like, to me right now, the funniest person on the world right now. He is the funniest guy. I can't get enough of him. I've never heard I still want to listen to his stand up and stuff, but he is what makes this show for me, or takes it to the other level, because he is a character. He's the guy that they mainly have in that position with the no holding back, where he just kind of lets it go, and everything you could possibly imagine coming out of this guy's mouth comes out of this guy's mouth and gets thrown up on the screen. And I love every single second of it. Every single fucking second of it. I could sit here and talk about him the whole podcast. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. Sorry. And I also wanted to mention, if anyone wants to get their thoughts in right now, you can always do that at 781-990-8509. Again, that's 781-990-8509 to get your questions or comments in about Glow, professional wrestling as a whole, or any questions you have, or any stuff. You can also jump in the live motherfucking chat, as people have been doing, or text me at that number. Or, as I say, if you see me on the street, throw pieces of crumpled up paper at my head with questions. Those are probably the best ways to get your thoughts in. But yeah, Marc Maron is amazing. No Hollywood versus Miss Fiji match. Mount Fiji match. No, instead of having Mount Fiji, they have a character that's obviously Mount Fiji. And she's called Macha Picchu or something like that. And she is the Mount Fiji. Spoiler of the documentary for Glow, if anyone has not watched the Netflix documentary, which I was reading an interview with the creators of this show, of the Netflix show. The reason they were looking to do a series. The creators of the show are named Liz Flahive and Carly Mensch. Now, they both wanted to do a series together, and they didn't know what they wanted to do it on. And they were watching Netflix documentaries, just having fun one night or something like that. And they watched the Glow documentary. And they were like, oh shit, we want to do a movie. We want to do a series on this. They instead made the decision that instead of doing actual characters and trying to find people that looked like these people or back and forth, to do these versions of other characters that have a lot of similarities with the ones that you would know, but they're completely unique and individual people. And they're taking certain things that happened in the story of Glow and things that happened in the documentary and spinning it in a new way and having like a different character be the person that does something that another character does, things like that. But they're sticking somewhat, if you watch the documentary first or after, you can see where they kind of went point for point and who's supposed to be who. And I know, Johnny, you could always leave me a Skype message. I don't know if I could figure out how to do that. I might even be signed into Skype. But yeah, I know. You in the live chat's good enough, and I will get you live on the podcast soon, Johnny. I bet the booking is far better for the WWE's booking right now. The doc is great. Marc Maron helped me quit smoking cigs. He constantly talks about nicotine lozenges on his podcast, so I've tried them and they work. Still smoking the good green, though. Yes. I'm back! Whoa, where'd I go? I disappeared into time and here I am. Marc Maron hijacked my podcast and said, shut the fuck up, Phil. Is there any chance of another Game of Thrones rap? That shit was funny as hell. I'm not against that. I was lucky enough to have people from the live motherfucking chat write that and edit it and do stuff like that. So I'm not objected to doing more songs if people want me to do that. But still, keep sharing the Fresh Prince video this season of Game of Thrones. And then after this season, maybe there'll be something that happens this season that will make me want to write a song about or do some silliness on. So Johnny, that will definitely happen. And you're a writer. Write me a rap song. Write me what you want me to say. I'll perform it. Johnny. I actually remember watching Glow as a child. It used to come after World Championship Wrestling when I was like 8. Yep, and it would also be on. I'd mainly watch it late night on like channel 38 or something like that. Would have Glow come on late night. I remember certain people. I remember Mount Fiji specifically. I remember Godiva, the girl who rode out on a horse and kind of like the bodysuit. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I want some drums. Drums. Yes, with some drums, with full song. We'll figure it out. I'll definitely do something. So, yeah, it was on after Saturday morning cartoons. It was on at like 11 o'clock, something like that. So, ultimately, I mean, I don't know much else what to say about Glow. I mean, I could get into certain individual story arcs and stuff like that, but the show isn't that deep. It's pretty surface. It is what you expect it to be. It's over the top, some over the top music, some over the top dream sequences mixed in here and there. Really, no holds barred entertainment. Sensitive people do not apply to watch this. If you're someone that's gonna get all hoity-toity about every comment somebody makes, don't watch this show. It's this show. Wait, it's again this motherfucking show. Fucking Glow.
Very serene. But he ain't serene. Yeah, and you know what? I think you're very because you're driving me up the wall. Yes, you had to hold back a curse word.
Come on, ladies, give us a hand.
Pleased to meet ya. I'm Aunt Kitty. All my girls are hot and pretty. I train them hard, so in the ring, you'll see my tigers do their thing.
My girls have the strength and speed to wipe out all the kitties, please. That's right.
Wow, she is not good at. Oh, Jackie
Son,
Sloan.
please don't be bitter. Cause all that's left is kitty litter.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. That was Sylvester Stallone's mom right there. Let's rewind that. We gotta see Sylvester. Here we go. Jackie Stallone. Here we go. Miss Stallone. Yo, Adrian.
My girls have the strength
Yo,
and speed
mom.
to wipe out all the kitties, please. That's right.
Yo, mom. Hey, yo, mom. I saw you. That's horrible. Yo, Adrian. I saw mom on fucking Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. Yo, I'm a fucking. That's not. Yo, Adrian. I'm too much sent. Yo, Adrian. I saw the mom on the fucking Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
And when we're done, please don't be bitter.
Yes, she didn't practice her rap. I think Mama Stallone didn't really practice her rap skills too good. Yes, Johnny. I was expecting Aunt Kitty to have, I'm Aunt Kitty and I'm a biddy. I don't mess around with any wussy because everybody plays with my pussy or something to that effect. Sorry. I'm not a freestyler, so. But see, not even trying. You know, listen, Missy, don't mess with my pissy or something like that. I don't know. But ultimately the series there's some things that they changed from the reality to the fiction of the show. Most of Glow was filmed or the real Glow was done in Vegas. The show was shot there at the Riviera, I think it was, and they ended up buying them apartments and stuff, and they all lived together very close to there. On the TV series, they kind of keep everything central to the Los Angeles area, and they buy them like a shitty motel. But there's some elements that are true to the real life and true. I like the changes that they made. It makes it a more kind of watchable, entertaining, digestible series. Again, I guess the final point on this, because I don't want to belabor talking about Glow, is it's decent. It's escapism, fun. It does have a few emotional moments that will sneak up and bite you right on the ass. I just got bit on the ass, and you just won't know where it came from. You're like, oh, I'm actually emotional in this moment. Shit, fuck. And then Mark Maron is Mark Maron all over the place. My name is Aunt Kitty, and I feel shitty from heart disease. Now freeze. Corey, I love when people in the live chat make me Ron Burgundy. Wussy and Pussy Phil, your bars are colder than Mars bars in the fridge, bro. Nice. I asked you for 4 bars. I didn't ask you for Mars bars, Phil. Don't be pushy and mess with my pussy. I don't know. Come on. So too much fun. So yeah, it's nice, good. Johnny said it before, and cute. It's a cringy at times, over the top, and some of the 80s stuff. If you like, it's not nostalgic in the way that you would expect or you see in some 80s shows that they're shoving it down your face, like in, say, like the Goldbergs or even Stranger Things. It's more just in the feel of it and the outfits and like what everyone's styled in, but it's not like here, except for with cocaine. They definitely do it's the 80s. Everyone, coke's just like here. I want to spoil so much. Can I spoil one? I'm going to spoil one element of the. If you don't want to be spoiled at all, fast forward for 30 seconds. There was at one point where they show up to a party and a robot pulls out. And they're like, oh, God, it's the robot. It's the robot. And then the robot opens up to a tray that comes out that's filled with joints, coke, cigarettes, and pills, and like Quaaludes. And it's just like a drug robot. And then they're following the robot around all night because they're wondering how it refills with drugs. So that there's, I guess, stuff like that, certain elements of that are very 80s, but 80s in the way that you'd see that shit in Crocodile Dundee. There's that scene in Crocodile Dundee where Mick Dundee from Australia walks into the back room and there's a dude doing coke and he pours all his coke into a fucking steam bowl and tells him to start inhaling the fumes. So it was kind of all over. So it's there in the sense of the way 80s movies kind of just had it there. 80s, ladies, don't be hasty. We don't have shaving cream, and you don't have to run. Sorry, I started doing that as a rap, Corey. My name is Phil, and my reviews kill. If I made Joffrey, I go back to taking the pill. I like that, Johnny. My name is Phil, and my reviews kill. If I made Joffrey, I go back to taking the pill. Oh! I got to do the O at the end from everybody. Oh! I know, Tim. How does the drug bot fill with drugs? That's a big line. I want to say it's episode 2 where they're just going, how does the drug bot keep filling with drugs? Phil, I cannot stay, but I want to give you a shout out. Check you out later. Get to reviewing for Game of Thrones. Yes, I cannot wait. It's getting to Game of Thrones point. Tick, motherfucking tick. It's going to be a really fun season. Got some cool stuff lined up. And by cool stuff lining up, me and Joe screaming and yelling and talking some fun and having a couple of our good friends joining us along the way. It's going to be a fun season of Game of Thrones. And we're going to hopefully have a lot more outside friends from other channels you guys might enjoy joining us for those feedback shows every week. That's what I'm trying to do. So I've set a few things up in motion. So got a lot of fun coming up here. So if you haven't already and you enjoy this stuff, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Ooh, whoops. Oh, there's the live motherfucking chat. But no, definitely if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Be a sweetie guy and leave a like. See, now I'm doing everything like the glow rap. Be a sweetie and leave a likey. Because you don't want to see me riding a bikey. There's a much better rhyme for that I chose against. Mount Fiji, Lord and Protector of Winterfell. Ward. Mount Fiji, Lord Protector of Winterfell and Warden of the North. Phil, Prince of Bel-Air, up in this hill. Yes. Hey, I didn't have any beat. It could have been worse. It could have been worse.
Chop off vodka, Pam.
Truck. Oh, yes. Don't throw a tizzy, I'll smash with my fizzy pop. Cocaine got no like a propane. Face is a regular, emotions displaced. Dragging on the concrete, looking at my face. Blah, blah. What are you talking about? Talking about the cocaine in the 80s. Get it down on a robot's butt. Sniffing in your bay and go in my lots. I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, Tim, talking about. Shut the fuck up, Phil, motherfucker.
Chop off vodka, Pam.
Okay, there we go. That was a little silliness. Sorry, I gave myself a spin on the wheel. Phil, make up a silly song. Anyways, so yeah, it's thank you 80s Albatross that spurned me off on a little tangent there, buddy. I appreciate that, or whoever, or I appreciate that, man. Bum 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 bum. Yeah, I'm so ready for that Game of Thrones talk. I dropped like a sandwich, teabagging sandwiches like Joe Dirty. I'm dropping like a dirty backs teabagging the sand snake. Psych! Sorry, the glow thing is making me want to say everything in that 1, 2, 80s in a freak. But okay, so final note on Glow. If someone's here just to check out the Glow review, definitely check it out. Good series. Buttholes out of a full butthole. I would say for the kind of show that it is, I would say it's like 8.5 side buttholes. So wait, is that actually like there's a whole butthole if I get a half side butthole? Anyway, no. So I would say it's very good. It's like it's an 8 out of 10. It's for the kind of show that it's doing. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. But the show charmed the fuck out of me. A lot of fun. And looking forward to season 2. It definitely does look like it's leading into season 2. They could definitely take this show 5 seasons is what happened with Glow. And I don't want to kind of ruin the Glow story because there's a really good documentary about it. But ultimately, it was kind of kept killing in ratings, building up, till eventually the creators one of the guys that was creating it kind of just backed away from it. There's a lot of stories and conjecture about what happened because the guy who was funding it all, his wife was this actress named Pia Zadora, and there's rumors that she hated the show and she made her husband pull the funding away from it, so the series disappeared. And then the guy that was half of the creative team disappeared with that, and then the other guy tried to restart it and never could do it. It's like, again, a documentary is going to tell you better than me, better than a fucking hippie over here that's trying to remember what he heard in a documentary last night. So I do recommend if you have any interest in this kind of thing or liked it, and you can kind of see where a lot of the girls ended up. The documentary does have its sad moments, but this kind of re-inspired. Glow is one of those things I don't think about often. It kind of blends in with a lot of other things. My interest in professional wrestling at the time, muscle toys for some reason, it kind of blends with that. And there were lots of little just toys like that. I want to say there were Glow action figures too, maybe, because they started to realize kids really like professional wrestling and they started to gear the show more towards kids. So that kind of period in time. The TV show Pro Stars, the WWF Superstars cartoon series, and all of that stuff. My interest in wrestling in that period all kind of blend together. New review style, 80s style rap. So this show was really good. Oh my good. See, I couldn't even do this. I need a beat. I need it to be a beat all the time. I probably could pull it off if I could listen to a beat while I reviewed it. Mixed in one of these reviews coming up, it will be the musical episode where half of it is silly, talky, rappy stuff like that, which happens in the series too, where there's a moment where that happens. And then half it will be me doing that silly opera song. And then Phil changed the song to a stupid little opera tune. What you talking about, Phil? I don't know what you're talking about, dude. Sorry, that was a natural snort. Dun 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 dun. Oh, gosh. So, everybody, Scout is in there. Thank you to everybody that is popping on here this afternoon. Scout, so glad I didn't miss out totally. No, I'm so glad you were able to pop on in here and say hello, Scout. So glad this is in my headphones, not playing out loud right now. People would be hardcore judging my viewing habits. I think that's the truth about our channel here in general. Shh, you like that guy, Phil? Shh. Don't tell anybody. Shh. Passing around and passing cassette tapes behind closed doors with written "Don't listen to this." Yeah, I know how it goes. Got a beard like Ned Stark. Got a bite like my bark. Balls bigger than Theon's. I like that. I really like that line. Got a beard like Ned Stark. Got a bite like my bark. Balls bigger than Theon's. Let's get it on. I feel like I want that rhyme to go on a little bit longer, Johnny. But I think you're on to something with that one. Keep up with the gun, a beard like a stuck, and a bite like a fuck, and a zibbit and a zibbit, I was zibbit and a struck, zibbit and a bounce, come on, Theon, motherfucker, let's get it on, you ball as fuck. Why am I snorting all the time? Stop snorting, douchey Larry. So yeah, 8 out of 10 side buttholes, I would say, for Glow. It's a fun watch, easy Netflix series. Watch a couple of episodes if you don't like it. You know, it might not be your cup, but it's going to make you smile and laugh a couple times, especially if you have any affinity towards the 80s wrestling or Mark Maron. Any of those things you have an affinity for, you're going to find something you find enjoyable about the show. So it's shot well, put together well. Has a little bit of a weedsy kind of feel to it at times. And that's because I know Jenny Cohen wrote at least one episode. She's not part of the creative team, but kind of that over the top, funny, and I mean early weed stuff where it blends some level of something with some over the topness. I might have lost people with that weeds reference, but it's good. It's fucking good. But if you hate it, blame somebody else. Be like, fuck that. No, but it's not, it's one of those things that it's no big whoop if you don't. Comedy is a subjective thing. I mentioned this a few times earlier. It was my first exploitation to Mark Maron and his charm and what's her name, as I said, Alison Brie, kind of breaking out of character of what I thought of her as an actress, because I've only seeing her on Mad Men before this, kind of cost me enough interest in the series that I became kind of, I'm going to finish this. And then I became charmed by it. So yeah, check it out. Uncle T, Phil, great seeing you streaming. What? Right now? You're not talking about Game of Thrones? Do you realize you have 200 more people watching this? You were talking about Game of Thrones. I probably should have put the title of this video, Game of Thrones Glow Season 1 Review. But yes, I'm still in my holding pattern, freaking out about the beginning of the season. We will be doing some preseason Game of Thrones, at least one preseason, maybe 2 Game of Thrones stuff coming up. But once the season starts, as I said, 3 podcasts a week or 3 live streams a week. We have our right after recap with myself and Joe, Katie, Carmine, David may join us occasionally on those, as much as they're available and scheduling and timing work out on that. I can definitely know Carmine will be joining us for at least a few of the live recaps. And Katie, I hope she will be joining us for a few as well. But Joe will be there every week, I believe. I have to double check with him. But I'll be there every week, and we'll have some guests and fun every week on the recaps. Then on the feedback show, I'm going to be bringing in an outsider. And maybe do more than one feedback show a week, depending on what happens on the show that week and people's availability. Like if I can get 2 people that are only available in the same week, I might do 2 feedback shows back to back. But ultimately, I'm going to try to do some sort of feedback show every week with some of my other friends, and then just some reaches of people I've sent emails to ask if they could possibly do something. So, and then I'm going to do 1 stream a week where I do a trailer reaction in this kind of thing, where me alone, when I watch the trailer, and similar to my normal trailer reactions to my silliness of the season trailers that come out, just do kind of like a trailer, my predictions or thoughts for the next episode. And so through those 3 things a week, and then maybe some bonus coverage here and there if I can get some random friends on to talk about some stuff. So yeah. So blubbity blah blah blah. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of fun this season, and I do know some of the people that are gonna be joining us for these feedback shows, and a couple people that I think we're gonna have a lot of fun talking with. And I won't say any names just in case schedule shit doesn't work out, but I've talked about them in the past, and it's gonna be a lot of fun doing these feedback shows this year. Yeah, we want the return of Katie Crow too, but she's been super busy working to start up a business and working in school and stuff like that. So her availability has not been quite as easy. So hopefully she will be back. She sort of has a open invitation to fly on in and fly on out anytime she wants. So you can't really control a crow and when a crow will come in, but we are hoping that Katie does pop in. She does appreciate all the love and support, and yeah, so hopefully she will poke her beak in a few times over Game of Thrones season. So yeah, so that's basic. I can't join you because you're too racist to Shamrocks back in the 70s. WikiLeaks exposed, Phil. When you were back in the 70s, hey, I'm a Celtics fan, Johnny. Hey, do I have to move the camera? Let's show you this. Wait, look up in my sky. What's that right up there? I see a shamrock flag, Johnny. Shamrock. The ShamWow flag, Johnny. Come fly with me. I do want to get Johnny on a feedback show. Maybe get Johnny and Kyle one week on a feedback show together. I played the first minute of Phil reacting to the first trailer for my sister. She just looked at me like, what the fuck do you watch? Why the fuck do you like this guy? This is what you spend your time with after Game of Thrones? Who the fuck is this asshole? He was forced to buy that Celtics poster out of penance. No, I'll go a step further. What do we have up here on the wall? We have an Antoine Walker bobblehead doll. Go Celtics. Woo! Oh, Johnny. Oh, gosh. But if anyone's popping on in here to hear anything about Glow, the Glow review is done. I said 8 out of 10. It's good. Watch it. It's a little bit of an after show. It's not going to be a usual 3-hour after show. No spinning going on. But yeah, it's going to be a fun season of Game of Thrones. And there's going to be a lot of hype coming up. And I'm trying to kind of lock myself in a bubble a little bit before the season, because when I get too excited about something like this, the anticipation kills me. The wait. I'm like, And since the second trailer, and then having a chance to go on Tony's stream the other night and talk about Game of Thrones and kind of get into the whole big hype excitement level of it all, and kind of and now just as it's starting to creep closer and closer, it's about to actually be July. It's actually about to be fucking July, the month. We've waited so long. We're starving in the fucking desert, waiting for a fucking cracker. These fucking bastards. I was just about to run over. It makes me want to run over and bash my head. Fuck. I know, Johnny. I could pull out my shamrock fist too in a second. Don't push me. I've been a Celtics fan since I was 2. It's just tough. It's tough right now to be. We're within so much shouting distance of it. It hurts right now. Phil, can we get our catch a throne predator coming? Tormund Giants Brim shouting up Leona Mormont. Chris Hansen walks in. So you went by the name Beer Fucker. Sit down here, Tormund. I have to have a conversation with you. Do you think talking about a man's penis in front of a little girl like that is appropriate? Do you think so, Mr. Giantsbane? As always, Johnny. Anytime, my friend. We need to get that series up and running. I think it will be a little bit more palatable than the real show, To Catch a Predator. Now, Tormund, that inappropriate way you're looking at that little bear. What do you think you're gonna do? to little boo-boo. Little boo-boo Mormon here. Hey, boo-boo. Can I stick my finger in your honey jar? I don't know, sir. So, Tormund, we have to have a discussion. Tormund, I see we have a printout of what you wrote in the snow to the little bear. Is this appropriate? I once fucked a bear. I want to make it too. Is that appropriate, Tormund? Oh, God. Oh, shit. Oh, no, I'm going to one side. I'm going to the other side. Where's my fucking effect? Oh, sorry. Now it's, oh shit, I turned myself up too much. Sorry if I was extra loud there for a second and volumes needed to be adjusted. I'm not fucking sorry. I'm not fucking sorry. Oh, fuck. Me and Phil came up with this drunk ass shit. Yeah, just one of those fucking goofy nights. When I think it was after one of, I think the most goofy I ever get is, it happens a lot, but the most goofy I ever get is after the movie streams. If I have like Joe or a bunch of people over and then they all leave, but I'm still going. And then I just start ranting and I'm like, I start off being drunk. Exactly, Tim. This kind of babbling is how you get a 3-hour after show. And especially, I used to be more, if you listen to the progression of our show, we used to be pretty close to that hour point. And I mean, for the average person, we probably should stay. But what I've been trying to do, and where we sort of change things around in the first 15 minutes, instead of immediately going to the recap, now we try to do kind of like a 10-15 minute just quick review of the episode of what we thought about it. So then if people want to shut it off at that point and not listen to the 3 hours goofiness of the recap and the babbling and the questions and all that sort of shit, they can kind of just shut it off right there. Shut that shit off now. But the more Joe and I babble and we go into our own personal kind of stories and shit like that, or I do silly, useless voices and goofy, and we spin wheels and shit like that. Okay, so ultimately, you guys are amazing, and this was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm fucking go. Fuck you guys. Screw you guys. I'm going home. But yeah, it's going to be a fun season of Game of Thrones. I will be doing another stream this week. I think on Thursday evening. I will have to do this show at night. Otherwise, Timo is going to hunt me down and kill me. But I think some of you might enjoy this stream. Some people that check the show out. And I know one person in the live motherfucking chat right now that's going to be excited because this has been coming for a long time. On Thursday evening, I think Thursday evening, possibly next week. No, fuck it. Thursday evening. We're going to Oswald Correctional Facility, and I'm going to be talking about Oz. I'm going to be talking about one of the most positive energy shows ever on television. Like, there's so much great stuff to talk about. So many great, happy moments. It's the happiest land. It's a show that there's a reason why it's called the same thing as, Dorothy in the Land of Oz. Because both places are some of the happiest places on Earth. So we represent the Lollipop Guild in Oz. Yes, Tim, you are the person in the chat that's going to appreciate this stream. That's what I love about Johnny Scout. Johnny is the most charismatic motherfucker on the face of the earth. I love Johnny. I was about to go in a how much I love Johnny rant, but all can be said with Phil has to do his hair in his lobster for a while. Oh, do my hair in like two giant like pigtails like this. I think 8, 9 o'clock, maybe as late as 10, but probably around 8 I'm going to start is the plan. Speaking of Tormund, not we segue to Oz, but wait, somehow that works. Yeah, Tormund does seem like someone that you could see in Oz. Yes, we're going to talk about that, Corey. How they just chose to end that, and something I want to kind of just put out there in the sense of HBO shows are some of the best shows in television history. Maybe I should do this as a whole podcast, but let me kind of put this out here as something I want to do a show on, and then I'm going to write myself a note. HBO shows, for the most part, don't end necessarily that well. Boardwalk Empire I didn't like the end of Boardwalk Empire. I didn't love the end of The Wire. I hated the end of The Sopranos. Oz, the end was a little weird too. And it was just like, I'll get into it in the Oz stream. Like HBO, the great HBO series don't necessarily end well. 6 Feet Under had an interesting ending for sure. I think that's probably one of my favorites, but it's still weird. So I don't know. Like Oz was, yep. Exactly. I'm HBO's Oz, Iron. It did. I'm holding off on saying everything you guys are saying to not like, because this could be the Glow/Oz stream when I just like go on a rant right now and talk about Oz. But no, I'm gonna say that deserves its own stream from beginning to end. But you guys are 100% right that without that show, we wouldn't be getting the programming that we get today. A lot of people want to, and I'll repeat myself on that stream too. I don't give a shit. A lot of people want to credit this era of television and the impetus in the show that kind of pushed us to this degree. Some people will say Breaking Bad. Some people will say Sopranos, which is a little bit more acceptable. But ultimately, it's Oz. Oz is the show that changed the landscape of HBO and made it really want to continue down that road. I mean, Sopranos maybe elevated and showed it because of the Sopranos' commercial successes, but Oz, without Oz and without the things that Oz did on television, all these shows that did things later can never really be quite as shocking as shit that happened on Oz, because at the time period, you weren't seeing that sort of shit. So it's a little preview for, I'll probably repeat myself and say that same exact thing and go in a little bit more in depth. I got to stop myself now, but Oz live stream Thursday evening, 8 p.m. to 8. Yeah, probably around 8. I'm going to try to do it. At least Oz had an ending. Deadwood and Rome were just cut short. I wasn't even going to mention Deadwood because that still upsets me. And Rome, again, a show that's so important for the development of Game of Thrones on HBO, and a show that the people that are loyal and supportive of that show got fucking fucked big time in a My So-Called Life kind of way, where it's that show got built up to a great point, and then to just disappear the way it did is a huge disappointment. Did you just compare Rome to My So-Called Life? Yes, I did. Freaks and Geeks is another one. These shows that sort of leave you with your balls hanging in the air. At least The Sopranos even had an ending. I mean, I think The Sopranos, it could be argued that didn't, depending on what way you go with the Tony being dead in that moment situation. Spoiler of The Sopranos. Spoiler of The Sopranos. It has a shitty ending that's non-conclusive. If that's super important to you, then don't watch The Sopranos. The Sopranos has one of the least conclusive endings ever, because I think in some level it was left open for a potential movie that is never going to happen because James Gandolfini passed and they waited too long. And now they're doing they're almost at the point of fully announcing it. And they might have already announced that the Sopranos prequel series that is coming. And yes, to answer questions before it comes, we will be covering the Sopranos prequel series when that comes. And we'll see if David Chase can be the second awesome prequel series from a great original drama. I don't know. I'm a little dubious of it, but I was dubious of Better Call Saul too, and that surprised the fuck out of me. So, if I have confidence that David Chase could probably make something that's going to be fun and entertaining, and we'll see what era they chose to focus on. If it's the Johnny Boy Jr. thing, I think there's a lot of room there for some good stuff that isn't too prequel-y. Next, Unsolved Mysteries, Whatever Happened to Deadwood. Sopranos never ended. It just kept going and going and going. Sopranos prequel, HBO is desperate for a hit show. They're panicking. HBO knows that they're big. I mean, when it really comes down to it, the next year or two, depending if they do stretch this thing to 2019, HBO's moving the needle. Game of Thrones, as people want to see the conclusion to the series, even the people that are begrudgingly, even the people watching it that are like, I hate this show. I just want to see how it ends. I mean, there's some people that aren't watching it because of that, but ultimately there's a big, large, crazy group of people that are all invested in this. And then it also has the buzzworthy element of the culture right now too, where it's also front in a old state kind of way of saying it. It's front page headlines as well right now in entertainment. When it ends, even if the prequel series or the spin-off series of Game of Thrones that we get are great, the hardcore Game of Thrones people, the people that, you know, all the YouTube people, all the people that are obsessed with Game of Thrones and like way into it, into the books, into the series, into all of it, they're going to probably follow that and watch that, see a Dunk and Egg series, see whatever happens. But the average, everyday, buzzworthy people, like the craziness, Game of Thrones will never reach the peak that it will in these final 2 years. Just from that kind of standpoint. Just for the lead up, the craziness of it all, the build up of the books not being finished and the series ending before the book. We're just going to get so much shit. We get inundated with so much shit in the next couple of years. So many more people, channels, articles, everything. It's just all Game of Thrones. It's like a tidal wave in these next 2 years. HBO is loving it. And The Sopranos in its era was the same. It was the other big series, the big landmark series HBO had. I might be a huge Oz fan, but there's no doubt that Sopranos was the biggest thing in the world at a point in time for television fans. Television wasn't quite as accepted as a artistic medium in the way it is now, and it was a different kind of era, but in the same way, Sopranos was this big, huge, broke through the mainstream, was front page headlines. How much the Sopranos actors make? Will there be a 6th season? Will this happen? Will that happen? Blah, 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 blah. HBO now, as they're hoping that Game of Thrones lasted 10 years and they took their time and yada, yada, yada. Now this series is ending. Dan and Dave are done. They want to do prequels, not prequel, I can say prequel, whatever, prequel, spin-off series. But that's going to take a few years to develop and to do right, find the right creative people. There's going to be a big chunk of time where HBO is like, oh shit, what's our next hit series? So going back to the well, you can almost see where they're panicking, as someone said in the live chat. Iron said in the chat, they're panicking. They were hoping that Westworld would be it. I love Westworld. It's one of my favorite shows on television. I don't think it's going to break through in that context. Some people might disagree with me, but I think it's going to definitely be more of a specific audience kind of show, a niche kind of show. And the people that love it are going to think it's one of the best. The people that hate it, oh, you watch this fucking dribble. Like, it's one of those shows where is something like The Sopranos or Game of Thrones just gets so much universal acclaim that HBO wants another series like that. What is going to be their next thing? So to go back next, and then at the same time, HBO will not be able to have that next thing. But if you think about their perfect universe, okay, we might not have that next thing, but between the Sopranos spinoff and a Game of Thrones spinoff, we will have our two biggest winners on the air at the same time. So maybe we can simulate that kind of thing where we get enough attention from both series because we're going to get enough old articles about Sopranos is back. Is this better than the original? Is this da-da-da? With the Game of Thrones spinoff series, Dunk and Egg is what people really like about Game, or whatever. You know, whatever the headlines that people can push. So we'll actually, and then you can get people to combine it. HBO, new era with spin-offs of the greatest series, you know, or something like that. You can find ways in which they're spinning it. So I'm kind of trying to follow HBO's narrative here of why they're kind of trying to, oh, we're doing Game of Thrones spin-offs. So, you know, David Chase and I have always talked about this. Let's give Dave Chase a call and see if he's interested in this. And Dave Chase is like, no, I guess it's about time to work again. And Gandolfini died. I can't do a movie, so let's move the needle again. So that's my speculations. Yeah, well, sandwiches legally in Washington State pretty soon around here. Show us Robert smashing Rhaegar in a loop for 10 hours. I buy that shit platinum. Hashtag House Baratheon. Game of Thrones is going to end with the White Walkers lifting his arm, come at me, bro, and then Jon Snow unleashes long claw, fade to black. We built their city. We built their city on rock and roll. We built this city on hoes and coke. In the Star Trek successes with sequels and sequels through the decades is encouraging. Many shows keep trying. I agree. I think Star Trek would have probably continuously been successful on television if they didn't overexploit a good thing. If Chris Berman. Berman and Braga. Chris Berman's a different guy. Sorry. If they hadn't tried to kind of just pushed and had like multiple series on at the same time and kind of spaced it out, I think they overextended themselves a little bit with Voyager, and then Enterprise, they shouldn't have kind of immediately tried to done series. They probably should have waited a little while and done another thing in the future. But, you know, it is what it is. The Next Generation movies kind of shit-canned Star Trek's success, but it's a good example of continued series spin-offs over and over again. I think Better Call Saul being a good series and being, even if it's not a rating success, being a critics success and an award show success to a certain extent, is even more opening that door for some other franchises to maybe possibly come back. And to me, it's all about the creative process. Better Call Saul is changing my perspective a little bit on, I've always never a big fan of prequels, but this is, if Vince can do it, I guess just have him do it. Just hire him to do it. Phil, have I seen the Star Trek VR game? I've heard about it. I have not seen it. I have not been able to, I don't have a VR headset, so I've not had a chance to play it yet, but that is definitely something I would love to play and love to own at some point. That looks like a lot of fun. I bet a few generations down the line, it will be even better when they can really get like visuals of the actors from the series. Like you're basically legitimately talking to Cisco and he's yelling at you and shit and telling you to fucking fix the Defiant, you son of a bitch. Westworld should have appeared after Game of Thrones season 8. Possibly, yeah. I mean, season 2 of Westworld might not come till after season 8 of Game of Thrones. Sopranos prequel. Tony says his dad's era did well career-wise. Yeah, it would be a lot of fun. George R. R. Martin said no dunk and egg. That's disappointment. I think I did read that. I just keep saying it, but that's a bummer. I mean, that being said, I just hope we get more dunk and egg stories and more stuff like that. Thanks to the Bloody Talker who's allowing me, who purchased or gave me a copy of the audiobook. It's my first time listening to that, and I'm in love with it. I haven't been able to listen to it as much as I've wanted to, but when I have, I love every second of it. It's excellently done, and it's written by it's read by what's his name? Not Viserys, fucking Daenerys' brother there. Crown for a King, Harry Lloyd. Based on the trailers, I'm more excited to watch that, and I'm not even a big what's his name fan. I'm not a huge fan of him, but I'm more excited for that series. It is a smart way to get Trekkies into VR. It's a really smart way, especially considering there's not many good Star Trek video games. So give a Trekkie or Trekker a good video game to play, let alone a Star Trek VR video game where they can simulate themselves being in the seat. That's all Trek people ever wanted in a video game, to actually feel like you're on the ship with these people. It works well on the Enterprise. It's too hard to fly though. Stay with the 80s model. It's a lot easier than building a Star Trek bridge in your living room. Yeah, it is. Hello, Tom himself. It's 4:20 somewhere, so Tom shows his head. Love you, Tom. Great to see you, buddy. It is. It's 20 past. It's 3:20. Yeah, it's 3:20. It's 4:20 somewhere. But everyone, I probably should start to wrap this up before I babble. Yeah, we wouldn't want me to babble, would we? I just can't watch the new Star Trek. Like, the actresses, it's just stained by The Walking Dead. Like, anyone who is in The Walking Dead is just damaged goods right now. Brendan Davis in the live chat. Great to see you, Brendan. Just finished Glow the other day. Did you enjoy it? Brendan's on the same age group I am, so he probably watched Glow occasionally as a child as well on Saturday afternoons, or they replayed it on Saturday evenings as well. Phil, get that headset for cheap, and we sorted out. It's a great laugh. I forget what I was talking about, Johnny. Get a headset for cheap. What, a Borg headset? No. I gotta scroll up there. I think I missed the discussion. It's weird when I'm doing this on doing the OBS streams, the Me Alone stream on here. It's even more delayed than the Hangout stream, so I'm being disconnected here. Oh, the headset, the VR headset. Oh, I get what you mean now, Johnny. I'll work on that, dude. No, thank you. I'll definitely work on getting the headset, because I think I could definitely get to a point where I could afford the PlayStation, and I could save up for the PlayStation VR, and then it's easy time after that. I liked Glow with Surprise. Not a big fan of the other show they did, but this one was pretty cool and handled the 80s well. I don't even know if I've seen the other show that these two creators did, Brendan. What was it called? Yes, this show does star Alison Brie, and I've only been exposed to her. You definitely get exposed to her a few times in the series, by the way. I had only seen her on Mad Men, so she completely shocked me with how much range she has. She does excellent with impressions. She's kind of so over the top and has like endless, boundless energy, and really makes it completely believable. She is one of the two core selling points of the series of Glow, right? With, again, this being my first time I ever saw Mark Maron, or really been exposed to Mark Maron, except for maybe a bit part here, a bit part there, and seeing him be full kind of comedy over the top. So yeah, definitely check out Glow if you haven't already. Oh, these are the same people that did Orange is the New Black. I know, I think Jenny Cohen has a little bit more creative freedom on that. This team, let me read the premise. Development. The idea of this series came when the two creators were at the time looking to make a new show, and they saw the documentary, The Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. I think it has some of the same writers as Orange is the New Black, but it's not the same showrunners. Because I think Jenny Cohen, is that her spell her name? The woman who did Weeds, is the person that did Orange is the New Black. So I think it's just some of the same creative people, and these two people that are doing the series are producers or writers and work in the staff for Orange is the New Black, but it's technically, a different creative team. Aw, cute. Definitely great stuff. So on that note, sorry, I was reading a email there. So everybody, thank you so much for checking out this live stream. If you enjoyed this and you haven't already, hit the fucking like button, hit the subscribe button. Tell me in the comment section below what you think of Glow, what you thought of Glow, if you were a fan of the television series or not, or any of the other crap I talked about in the random part of this live stream. She's funny in interviews too. I've never actually ever seen her in interviews. Bloody Talker. Your ears must be ringing. I was just talking about you and giving the Bloody Talker lots of love for hooking me up with the Hedge Knight. Loving the Dunkin' Egg stories so far. Still not finished with it, but loving every minute of it so far. Your mom. Great to see you, Mom, and Bloody Talker. But if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I will be back again on Thursday evening to talk about something far more positive. The land of Oz. No, man, don't stop the show. Don't stop the show. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. We got my mom telling me not to stop. How could I stop? But guys, I need to. I am a fucking...
You're a talker. Listening to talkers makes me thirsty. If any more words come pouring out your cunt mouth, I'm gonna have to eat every fucking chicken in this room.
Sorry, Hound. I know. The voice in my head's like, Phil. You guys are fucking amazing. Be easy, you beautiful, insane Buddhist bastard. Salute. You guys are fucking amazing, though. Thank you so much for checking out this live stream. As everyone says, thank you. As everyone in the live chat said, if you haven't, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll be back on Thursday evening to babble again. Broke says he'll donate if I keep going. Well, Broke, you can donate because you love and you want to spin of the wheel. Because of that, fuck it. Give me a question. I'll take in for the next, it's 3:30. I'll be on until 3:45 because you guys asked, and fuck it. But if you want to donate $1, Broke, I'll give you a spin of the wheel. But yeah, you don't have to pay me to keep going. You can always pay me to keep going. Half an hour after show for the late people. That's the thing. I was already going for a half an hour after show. So but yeah, so see, any question, the show is over. Now it's the after show, the world famous After Dark. No, this is the After Dark. This is the after show. Hey, I could be called Broke Hippie, so he secretly married Cersei, and or he just wants me to keep babbling. So if anyone has any questions, any directions about any of the shows we talk about, or any silly personal crap, I shouldn't say that, but anything, this is the time of the show, the after show. I don't have any alcohol in me, but I am goofy as a bastard, and I'm ready. That's what she said. You don't have to pay me to keep going. After morning or after afternoon, your mom. My afterglow. He probably is. After the gorgeous ladies of wrestling. It's facts, everybody. Facts. So I do have a text message. Let's see what this text message says. It says, here we go. Phil, why haven't you reviewed American Gods yet? Please watch this. I'm begging you, dude. Do this fucking shit. Oh shit, Broke did it. Broke fucking did it. Does Glow have any nudity? Okay, that's one question right there. American Gods, I will get to it. Probably not going to be able to get to it till... yes! We got Joe dancing for Broke Black Man. Yes, and I will get you a spin of the wheel 1 second. Just want to answer M's question. I will be covering it eventually. I might not cover it until the beginning of season 2 and catch up on it. Definitely right after Game of Thrones season, I will watch that and catch up on that series. I'm excited to it. I watched episode 1. I look forward to watching the rest of the series. So I will be talking about and watching it at some point. Game of Thrones is kind of all-encompassing right now, and it's winter's coming. Winter's fucking here. So ultimately, I'll have to wait a little bit, but I will get to it. Does Glow allow any nudity? Television show? No. TV series? Yes. Random boobs at many times here and there, and simulated sex once. What am I, Mr. Skin? Simulated sex in episode 1. Timestamp 32 minutes and 0 seconds. Boob stamp 3467889. Butt stamp 44321. What a fucking pervert. Did my computer glitch? Is Phil still going? So Phil, who do I think the Cersei of Oz is? I'll keep that a little free here. Little sparse. That's a good question, Tim. Tim, could you comment on this video or send me a private message with that question? Because I want to ask that on the Oz stream. But Quick answer. Probably Vern? I would guess. Did my computer... Wow, take a picture of the screen. Glow has some nudity. Oh, shit. Is Glow... Brooke Blackman has $1. Do it. No, you don't, Tom. I sound like a perv for answering your question so thoroughly. Hey, I'm talking about Oz next week, and I'm going to talk about seeing all your favorite Law and Order actors' dicks. Hey, I got $1. Hey, I got $1. $. Okay, broke. Here you go. You earned it. You earned your motherfucking spin, broke. I hope to fuck this doesn't land unshot, broke. Here we go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, go, 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 motherfucker, go, motherfucker. Go, motherfucker, spin, 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 motherfucker, spin. No whammies. Done. Drum solo. That was close. It was almost shot. It almost did drum solo. Excuse me for 1 second, everybody. Hopefully this won't be too loud. Let me do it. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. I honestly have zero concept of how loud that is, so that I would have drummed a little bit longer, but A, I'm just learning how to play the real drum set, so sorry, I kind of sucked a little bit. B, I had no clue how loud that was, so I'm sorry if that blew out your ears. So let's judge that volume. Tell me how that volume was so I know for drum solos in the future. How bad that was. So let's go. Dun, 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 dun. Not too loud. Okay, perfect. So the volume was good. I would have drummed a little bit longer. I started to be a little too cautious that I was blowing your ears out there. So I'll know. I kind of just cut my mic volume to half volume, and that probably should be pretty good for the drum solos. How does one praise Cersei? I feel like a sacrifice is needed. A praise Cersei option on the wheel. Holy shit, Iron, that's a good one. Let me write that down. Anyone have any suggestions for wheel stuff? Always email me or send me a private message somewhere or put it in the wheel suggestion group on Discord. Praise Cersei. Simon Adebisi was your Cersei from Oz. That is a good one, Uncle D. Might be Simon too, especially considering stuff that happens to ways in which he takes care of people that I'll wait to talk about. Nino Shabetta and stuff like that. Excuse me. The crazy wheel, love the concept. Shave the head should be a tiny option on it. Maybe if I eventually do other kinds of wheels, because I'm not just going to stick to this wheel. Eventually I want to get like a roulette wheel and a Plinko thing and have different carnival games to be able to figure it out. So maybe one of those will be shave a beard or something. I don't know. I'm going to shave a head. Maybe make that $1,000 Patreon donation or something like that. Is that what it's worth to me? It'll grow back. Oh my God. Here we go. Not just Cersei. Praise the super chatter's favorite character. Praise super chat's favorite character or character of choice. That's a good one. Iron, could you private DM me that on Twitter? Just so I don't forget it, because I might not be able to read my handwriting later. But that's an excellent idea and something I will definitely add to the wheel for Game of Thrones season. That I will take off one of the cheesy ones that I just kind of have filling up a spot there. Like push-ups or something. No, push-ups are good because if we get shots, then push-ups, you get craziness like Joe and I streamed last week. He writes that down after I donate. Thank you, Scout. Thank you for being honest. Dude, Masande and Grey Worm is so yesterday. I want Varys and Grey Worm. Fanfic! Yeah, I want the Phil's Crazy Carnival podcast going on here and have like 3 or 4 carnival games all on the back wall and stuff and be able to play different games for the super chat donations. It's going to be fun. Shave an eyebrow. What is this, Pink Floyd The Wall? What have we do to fill the empty spaces? Not going to continue with that. People look... I agree with that, Scout. It's just a weird, like, I always imagine, part of it is the movie Pink Floyd The Wall and seeing what that guy does to himself when he goes through his crazy fit. It's spoiler alert for Pink Floyd The Wall. And he shaves his eyebrows off. The way it looks, I think it just is a kind of like a scary look. And I think that's why. I think it's because of that image of that character of Pink Floyd going crazy and some of the images of him in the mental institute with the shaved eyebrows and stuff. I wrote it down. I got my chicken scratching. I did it. It's done. It's coming on the wall. Coming on the wall. No one wants to hear about what I'm doing after the show's over. So no one wants to hear about that. Move on. Okay. But I agree. That movie fucked me in middle school. Almost turned me into a dirty commie. That movie is fucked up too. It's one of those weird movies I probably shouldn't watched as a kid while listening to Syd Barrett music, if you guys know what I mean. It's not. Screw the reviews, just carnivals and silliness. I would still watch. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Thank you. And of course, as time goes on, I've said this before, even though it's not as, focused as episode recaps are, when we doing more of the issues program type stuff where we definitely just do silly streams, and I'm trying to silly stream. Wow. Sorry, I just thought of a great idea. Silly stream. That's why I'm trying to do after shows on almost every cast now. I'm not going to always be able to do them, especially in the late Game of Thrones cast that we're going to take a long time to unpack the episodes. But at least on the more specific topic ones, when we do something like a shorter review on Glow or like a top 5 list or a top 10 list, try to babble more on the movie commentary pod things. Get a little bit more of the Babble Fest 97 going on here. I was mad at the priest the other day. His Sunday sermon had Bible spoilers. Making a late meal before work in bed. Delighted me to catch this shit. I missed it. Be easy. Thank you, Johnny. Iron, that's funny. If it was Phil eating a sandwich, we'd still tune in, says Broke. Fuck it, I'll still watch Phil if he sits there and eats sandwiches all day. Where's the job I can get paid to do that? I can't pay to... See... It would be hard for me not to talk about my opinions and be obnoxiously annoying. Obnoxiously annoying? Yeah, that's about right. It'd be tough. I'd just be sitting here like, okay. Hi, everybody. It's a really good piece of technical difficulty. Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm so happy. No! I gotta talk about the people that piss me off! The fucking... The adventure that happened the other day with me and the woodchuck, that it was like watching an episode of another episode of The Adventures of Bill Murray's character in Caddyshack, watching me try to catch a gopher that's been fucking with our garden. It's like dun 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 beaver. It's in the hole. I can't do that character's voice. I could if I heard it for a second, but I don't want to fucking put shame upon that character of Bill Murray. But yeah, I was trying to catch this gopher all day, and it's a fucking mess. Seeing me try to do anything, and then I brought out my broadsword, and I'm like swinging the broadsword through the backyard, trying to scare it away out of the yard. I'm like, I have the power! Sometimes I feel like I need to have a camera on me like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for the goofy adventures I get myself into. Dun 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 dun. Hey, Al Red Sox fan. Great to see you, buddy. See, if there was a good excuse to go a little extra broke, if your dollar paid for anything, I got to say hi to one of the good people out there, Al Red Sox fan. Good to see you, buddy. Hey, Phil, tell Joe to talk more on his video game streams. It's dope because we can hear him light his joints, light his sandwiches, and taking a drink. Yeah, I highly recommend subscribing to Dirty Issues to watch video game streams. I stream some Zelda over there, and I'm no different. There's times where I take breaks and don't talk, but I'm like constant blah, 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 blah. Taka does a lot of really awesome stuff there, and he also has a Twitch channel if you're into video game streams. I love Joe's streams, but if people expect to tune into them and hear ranty Joe, no, it's more like Joe in a trance when he's playing video games. He's very quiet and very calculated in his stuff. It's definitely not the Joe you hear on the podcast. So if you ever want to hear a different side of Joe and the more quiet, relaxed side, definitely check out the Dirty Locks streams on Dirty Issues. But yeah, Joe almost sounds like he's on Quaaludes sometimes on those streams. I agree. He's like, hi, guys, it's Joe, Dirty Locks. Sometimes he does them though, like to be fair, he does them at the end of his work shift. So he'll come home after like an 8 hours work shift, after being an overnight work shift because he works overnight shifts, and then play games. So he's half awake, half asleep, or he'll do it at kind of odd times in the night where probably someone's where he's tired or something and can't sleep. So he tends to save all of his energy for our podcast. It comes in bursts. Oh my goodness. Uncle D, best motherfucking chat show quote. Started rewatching your Deep Space. What is Uncle D? I didn't see the first part of that. One time, 2 blue claw crabs got loose in my house, and that was an adventure. Started rewatching Deep Space Nine the other day. There's so much embodied philosophy. I totally missed it when I was younger. And 100%, Deep Space Nine is so important also for the development of the era of television we live in. I'd love to talk more Deep Space Nine. I just don't know if there's many people interested in hearing it. But ultimately, I would definitely expect at some point I'll eventually get into it because I'm eventually getting to Oz, but I do want to kind of unpack and get into some of the big themes and some of the big moments in Deep Space Nine. But such a multi-layered series on so many different levels, and why it's my favorite Star Trek series and one of my favorite television series ever. Try a live trap and what will make you look insane. Definitely won't. My buddy health record for the chats. I love Joe. Hello. Joe talks, but when he's in the zone, he's in the zone. It's true. He cannot be distracted. He is so quiet. Gamer Joe. Joe talks about poop. He's so quiet. It was like 4 a.m. I could hear the crow telling him to go to bed. He lied. He said he was going to go to bed at 4:15. He kept playing until 4:15. At one of Joe's recent streams, I battled a troll in the chat. That was fun. Deep Space Nine was great. Discovery, Orville will make people watch the rewatch of old Star Trek series. That's what I'm hoping to, Iron, that if Star Trek Discovery is more popular, Star Trek content, more people will be interested in watching it. It's not that I don't want to do it, but I'd love to do it for more. The Star Trek fans are out there. They just need to get mobilized a little bit. And there's a right time for me to start talking about Star Trek again. And I think it might be to talk about how old Trek's better than Discovery. And I don't know. I have to get something that inspires me enough to want to come out here and talk about it. And I agree with you. I think when Discovery and Orwell hits, Star Trek's going to be a little bit more in the television zeitgeist. Well, Tom, we lived together for 7 years before, so we kind of got those kind of jokes beforehand. The only jokes I worry about is I'm more thinking for her safety, having to deal with me 24/7. Great to see all of you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. What time is it? I even went 5 minutes over the four. I said 15 more minutes, 20 more minutes, whatever. One of the scenes that I always remember clearly is in the latter seasons when Cisco goes on a tangent about the problems with the Federations and the Earth. It's always stuck in my head that the Earth is too safe, and that they're too used to everything, and that they don't know what conflict would be anymore, and that's why Changeling can go on Earth and fuck stuff up so much. I think that's the Homefront episode, the 2-part Homefront, when Cisco, O'Brien, I think is the other one, and Odo go back to Earth to be briefed at Starfleet about the inclusion of the Changelings. Or it could also be a lot of other later stuff that happens too with dealing with the war. I was Phil, get an VR set in a Trek game. That sounds like a boner pill commercial. When's the right time to talk Star Trek? I thought I was the only shitlord sub to Dirty Issues. Hopefully, anyone who wants to check out more Joe and Taka specifically, check out Dirty Issues. I do pop in there on occasion, and we'll be popping in there soon to play some Zelda DLC coming up. If you start reviewing Preacher, I'm going to get back into that show. I've heard good things about that show. It is something I do want to catch up on eventually. I know it's only one season, but I've heard a mixed thing. Some people really like it. Some people I've heard talk some shit about it. But it is on my list of shows I cannot wait to see. I've heard a lot of, like I said, I've heard a lot of good things from people who have suggested other shows I like. Phil, you should do a call-in show for an hour each day a couple times a week. Al, that would be awesome. I would not mind doing a call-in show, a couple of hours, that stuff. The only problem with that is I'm not sure I'd get calls constantly. So there'd be a lot of just me going, so the phone lines are open. But I will definitely see about that. I'm going to be broadcasting a lot more. And if we can get a steady stream of feedback stuff during the Game of Thrones season, as we keep growing bigger and bigger, I think that's something definitely once we would reach a certain point where we would, get more constant calls and stuff like that. I think that's something I would definitely be open to doing, more call-in kind of shows. And I always have the line set up for voicemails anytime someone wants to call 781-990-8509. The only reason I don't have that set up for calls is because of that that dun 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 dun, the ringing sound. But pretty much always people, anytime someone wants to call in, just let me know, send me a private email or something like that, or a private message somehow and say, listen, I want to call, and I can switch the thing on to taking calls. So we're always open for phone calls anytime anyone wants to talk. But I do think I should do some weeks where I do more coverage, and that's why I'm saying these 7 weeks. You guys are going to get so sick of me over the Game of Thrones 7 weeks. You're going to see me 3 times a week. Ugh. God, you're gonna see me more than my friends do, because you're my real friends. That was a fuck you to any of my in real life friends or something that might check out this show at a later date. Or it's actually the knowledge that I know none of them never will. So fuck you guys. No one's listening to me talk for this long. They're like, No, that's not true. That's actually not true. My friend Elia listens to most of our streams. So Elia, toast to you, my friend. Holy shit, is that Lola from Portland, from Poland? Great to see you, Lola. Lots of love. Phil, you should take Skype calls because it's free. I could absolutely set things up for Skype calls, Tom. That would not be very difficult. So yeah, 100%. We'll set things up. If anyone ever wants to leave me messages on Skype that can't call in the line and leave calls that way, you can always. My Skype is I Got Issues Man, like at I Got Issues Man. You can see it on the bottom of the screen there. feel free to add me on Skype, send me some video messages, and I can play them on the show later. If that is an easier way for anyone that is not in the United States and does not want to pay international fees to leave us a voice message or call in. Skype is always an option, and I do have it hooked up to this computer right now, so it's easy. So add me away on Skype, anyone who watches this and wants to talk. But Lola, it is awesome to see you. Great to see everyone. I know, Lola. I corrected myself. It's more of a mispronunciation than not knowing where you're from. Like, I know where you're from. It's just from my brain to my mouth, it has to go through several fields of plants of some nice smelling sandwich substance. It claws its way, and then when it comes out my mouth, it comes out wrongly. Oh, Tom, huge hug, buddy. That's because I'm dumb. It solved it. Truth be told, you're like, it's really just a hate watch, right, Tom? It's fuck this guy. I love you too, Tom, and I love all you guys. You guys are amazing. You guys are so sweet. And thank you to Broke for his donation that forced me to go 15 more minutes. You were the best, Broke. Boop, 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 boop. Bree, you're amazing. And I love your comment. You guys are amazing. Oh, Sam, thank you for popping on in here. Thank you to everybody. Anyone up for a Skype call? Press 666. Hey now. Is close enough. Phil, Joe, Katie, and Taka are the most fan-friendly people on YouTube, says Al, Red Sox fan. Al, you are amazing, dude. You're a great friend and a great supporter of the channel. So thank you so much for all you have done to help promote us. And I said this before and I'll say it again. Right now, this season of Game of Thrones, if it was more important to rep your support for our channel, it's more competitive, more challenging out there than it's ever going to be. So if you guys love what we do, support it, tell people about it, share it, pub it. You like another YouTuber you want to see me work with, send them a message, send them a comment, tell them to check me out and see if they like me and see if we can figure out something to do together. I don't care how, I don't care. Do it. I don't care. Do it. But no, seriously, if people want to help build and promote the channel, and I want you guys all to feel like you're part of what we're doing here and all that sort of stuff. But get out there in the front lines and help bring people our way. It's always so appreciated, just as much as donations and Patreon support are. Any way you can help further us doing this more and more and more means so much to me and so much to Joe and Stephanie and Taka and Katie and all of us. So lots of love. And on that fucking note, on that fucking motherfucker, no one Broke. You did this. You paid for 15 minutes. I gave you 30 or 27. But by the time the music's done, 30. So love you guys. Phil, are you gonna do more gaming on here with Joe? Anything you mean on this channel with Joe? I don't know if we're gonna do any like gaming stuff on here. I keep threatening to do a Zelda stream here, but Joe and I do want to find a game that we can play together on Dirty Issues, some sort of 2-player game. But maybe something like that on this channel eventually, a game like The Witcher or some game. I think if we did something, it would have to be something special, like a Game of Thrones game or something with that sort of theme or theme based around one of the shows we do to do it on this channel. Otherwise, it will be on Dirty Issues. If anyone's not subscribed to that, definitely do that for Joe's video game stuff and any video game stuff I do. But hopefully we'll figure out the right kind of game. What I want to do is there's a second season of the Telltale game or another Game of Thrones game. Maybe Joe and I can be in a singular place and kind of stream it and play it together. I think that would be a lot of fun. Thank you, Bloody Talker. Thank you, Bloody Talker. It's going to be a lot of fun. So everyone, You guys are awesome. Love you. Talk to you. What the fuck? Sorry, talk to you next time. Later.